Terrible.
I brought some cold water, ma'am.
Whatever would we do without you, Quintus? Where is my husband?
The prefect's on his way. I don't want to speak out of turn, but maybe I should warn you that...
Look at this. Just look.
Oh, what is it now, Pontius?
Here, read it yourself. Another warning letter from the Emperor Tiberius. How easy does he think it is governing this rabble here in Judea while he sits there in luxury pampering himself in Capri? Quintus, get over here with that washbowl.
You've brought this on yourself, Pontius.
Don't start. These Jewish people need a firm hand. Think they're God's chosen people? Well, they're a conquered people.
You should have known better than to have those golden shields put up on the Antonine Palace in Jerusalem. Tiberius doesn't care about having his face in some metalwork. You should have known that it was bound to anger the Jews.
It is preposterous to think that the Roman prefect is being dictated to by the people that he is sent here to govern. Quintus, get me some wine.
Your duty is to keep the peace, not to cause riots by disrespecting the local customs of the people. You know that graven images offend their religious sensibilities. Didn't you learn anything from that incident with the standards?
How was I supposed to know? Look at me. Am I a Jew? Our soldiers should be able to march with the standards of the Roman Empire wherever they please.
But not into Jerusalem, and especially not into the temple. Your predecessor, Valerius Gratus, understood that. He didn't allow the soldiers to carry the standards into the temple.
Valerius Gratus was too soft on these people. That's why we have the problems that we have now. And you know who's behind it, don't you? Herod Antipas. You can bet he went squealing to Tiberius about those shields in the palace.
Well, it is his palace.
Because Rome allows it to be.
Excuse me, Prefect.
What is it, Quintus? Where's my wine?
Well, Herod Antipas has just arrived. He wishes to speak with you.
Wonderful. I bet he does, that fox.
Be gracious, Pontius. If the Emperor receives any more reports of civil uprising, you might find yourself in a worse position than you are now.
What could possibly be worse than this?
Quintus, please welcome our guest.
And bring some wine, for goodness sake.
I curse the day that Sejanus appointed you to be governor of this place.
Sejanus wouldn't have had the authority to make appointments if Tiberius would take responsibility for running the empire himself.
He's not well, Pontius. Sejanus was relieving him.
By appointing his friends right, left and centre, and here I am stuck in Judea.
Prefect Pontius Pilate, may I introduce the Tetrarch of Galilee, King Herod Antipas.
Greetings, Prefect.
Welcome, Herod Antipas. To what do we owe the pleasure of this unexpected visit?
You are straight to the point, as always. And may I say what an honour it is to behold the beauty of her ladyship, Claudia Procula.
The honour is all mine, King Herod.
I have an eye for beauty.
So I have heard.
Your wine, sir.
Oh, about time. I thought perhaps you were treading the grapes. Set it down over there.
However do you cope with this heat, Herod?
Oh, we are accustomed to it, my dear. However, for foreigners, perhaps it takes some getting used to.
Quite.
Won't you join me, Antipas?
It would be my pleasure.
And will you take wine?
Oh, yes, please.
Now, what shall we drink to?
To friendship?
To friendship. Quintus!
Thank you, Prefect. These are such interesting times we live in. One can never be too careful. No offence.
None taken. Now come. What brings you here to Caesarea?
You are gracious as ever, and yet direct. I seek merely to clarify my position.
Your position?
Yes, with regards to this unfortunate incident regarding the shields you had placed on my temple in Jerusalem, bearing the face of the Emperor Tiberius. Now, I want you to know I am loyal to Rome. Rome has been good to me. In fact, I rather liked those pretty shields, but, you see, my people were offended by them. These are such very delicate matters. You understand?
Indeed.
Now, I want you to note that I have absolutely no problem about honouring the emperor. In fact, for my own part, I had a new settlement built by the Sea of Galilee and ordered its name changed to Lake Tiberias so as to honour the emperor.
Yes, and you built it on a graveyard. Your own people wouldn't live in your new settlement because the contact with the dead made them unclean. You had to fill it with all the riffraff you could find.
Yes, well, you see, even I am sometimes perplexed by the religious piety of my own people. No, please, Prefect, hear me out. I wish to follow in the footsteps of my father, Herod the Great. We all know that the greatness of Jerusalem was due to him. As a city, it's renowned for its glorious architecture, created by my father.
Oh, well, then perhaps you will be interested in my latest project.
Oh, come now, Pontius. Is this really the time?
Quintus, bring me the plans for the aqueduct.
Oh, what is it with men and building monuments to their own greatness?
What is it with women and not knowing when to keep their mouths shut?
Oh, forgive me, Prefect, but I had trouble like this in my own household with my wife Herodias and her daughter Salome. I have to endure their counsel, and they are both as beautiful as they are vocal, I'm afraid.
Ah, here. Here are the plans for a beautiful new aqueduct, which shall bring water all the way from the pools of Solomon near Bethlehem over here, all the way to Jerusalem over here.
Oh, this is magnificent. Truly a feat of architectural genius, but sure it will cost a fortune.
Oh, we have the funds secured.
Really?
Yes, from the temple tax already collected.
The temple tax? But that is a gift to God from the people. It is given in good faith and dedicated to God.
Will the temple not benefit from the water from this aqueduct?
Well,
Don't
yes.
your priests have to wash or something before they conduct their rituals?
Well, yes, but...
Well, good, then it's settled.
Surely you'll need to take this matter to the high priest Caiaphas for him to take before the Sanhedrin to be discussed.
You would do well to remember that it was I who appointed Caiaphas as high priest. He will honour my wishes.
Yeah, but his father-in-law Annas was high priest before Caiaphas, before Annas was deposed by Rome. Many say that Annas still holds great influence over decisions made by the Sanhedrin. People will be outraged if they discovered that the temple tax was used to pay for the aqueduct. Remember the trouble that was caused when Roman soldiers marched into Jerusalem carrying Roman standards.
Yes, my wife has already been kind enough to remind me of that. The fact is, I have 3,000 soldiers under my command. Let the people complain. Let them protest outside my house. I will dress my soldiers in civilian clothes and let them bludgeon the protesters to death with cudgels if need be.
More bloodshed?
I will mix their own blood with the ruddy temple sacrifices.
Prefect, you go too far. The people of Israel are a chosen race. They enjoy a special relationship with God. If you use the temple tax for this, then you invite the wrath of God upon yourself.
You may be the king of the Jews, Herod, but let's not forget that your own religious devotion is somewhat questionable. I've heard it said that your marriage to your brother Philip's wife Herodias caused some upset among your people. In fact, I have heard it said that you are a man who enjoys much pleasure.
I take it you are referring to the ravings of that desert preacher, John. Well, let me tell you that John the Baptist is dead. I had him executed.
Oh, I know. I know. I hear things, you see. I also heard that you were seduced by a dance from your niece Salome on your birthday. And she demanded the head of John the Baptist on a plate.
Yes, well, there is another preacher now, a rabbi called Jesus. Some say he is John the Baptist returned from the dead. There are higher powers at work in this world than the might of Rome, Prefect. We do well not to disturb them.
Superstitious rubbish.
You have offended me. I shall take my leave of you.
Oh, no, do please stay for dinner. My servants have prepared a delicious pork roast.
You would do well to remember that it was the cry of the Jewish people that brought down the judgment of Tiberius upon you, Pilate. Perhaps Caiaphas is not so loyal to you as you think he is. Oh, build your aqueduct. But the consequences are yours to deal with. Good day to you. And to you, my lady. I pray that you could help your husband to see sense.
Quintus! Show our guest to the door. Goodbye, King of the Jews.
And so concludes another successful meeting.
Ah, Claudia. Like a beautiful rose blossoming in the midst of all these desert thorns. How delicate and precious you are. You know, in the midst of all this political wrangling, it's so easy to forget that the Emperor Tiberius is in fact your stepfather. We have family to him. Of course he would chide his son-in-law from time to time, but deep down, I'm sure that he is pleased with our efforts to honour him.
He's not well, Pontius. He lets Sejanus do everything. That's the only reason that you were appointed.
Claudia, I'm not a diplomat. You know that. I'm a military man from an equestrian family. Sejanus knew that when he appointed me. Perhaps he thought that that's what this province needed.
These Jewish people have faith. They believe it is true. They live for it. They would die for it. That means something, Pontius. I believe that the truth is out there somewhere.
Truth? What is truth?
Chicory, coriander, dandelion, endive, horehound, mint, sorrel, sow thistle, wild lettuce and wormwood. Any of those bitter herbs are fine for the cedar plate. Are you sure you're going to remember all this, Joanna?
Yes, Mary, I have eaten Passover before. I am Jewish, you know.
Yes, I know, but it's just that this one is so important. He's placed such emphasis on it.
Look, all the preparations will be made like he asked, don't worry. James has given us a contact in the city where we can find the unleavened bread and somewhere where we can get the lamb too.
But the Passover isn't until Friday. Why does he want to eat it early? I feel like my heart's in my mouth just now. It's like we're right on the edge of a precipice and everything's about to change.
No wonder after the entrance that Jesus made going into Jerusalem. Jesus riding on a donkey. All the people waving the palms and shouting the words of the psalm, Hosanna in the highest. Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Blessed is the kingdom of our father David that is coming.
Yes, they see him as the son of David, the heir to David's throne. God has promised to place a son upon his throne, and his reign will last forever.
That's it. It's the beginning of a new era. Jesus is going to be recognised that the king he is, the Messiah that we always knew he was. Don't you remember the blind man Bartimaeus? Yeah. When Jesus gave him back his sight, he shouted, Son of David, Son of David. Jesus is David's heir.
Maybe you're right. Maybe that is what's happening. And I'm just scared of losing him. Ever since he changed my life, I've not left his side. I've travelled with him and the 12 everywhere. He saved me, Joanna. He saved me from a life of misery and pain, gave me my dignity, and showed me that I'm a child of God. Maybe I'm just afraid I'll lose him.
Mary Magdalene, you worry too much. Remember that Jesus said, save tomorrow's worries for tomorrow. Today has enough troubles of its own.
I can't argue with that.
Unbelievable. You can't tell me any of us saw that coming.
This changes everything. Has he lost his mind?
No. This is the beginning of something.
What is it? What's happened?
Magdalena, where's his mother, Mary?
She's resting along with her kinswoman Mary of Clopas. Why? What's happened?
All right. Jesus just went mad in the temple.
He didn't go mad, James. He was angry, but he didn't go mad.
Well, what would you call it then, John? He threw all the money changers' tables over, then started chasing them out with a piece of cord he was using as a whip. I would say that was pretty mad.
Peter, we all know what corruption there is in the temple. They've used the law of Moses as an excuse to make money. Jesus was just saying what the rest of us feel. The temple is a place to worship God, not a marketplace for selling animals.
Not to mention charging people ridiculous interest rates to change our money into the temple coinage.
What is it? Where is Jesus? Did they arrest him?
They wouldn't dare.
He's praying somewhere. We don't know exactly where. He's slipped away. Perhaps he's gone to the Garden of Olives. He likes that place.
This is the start of it. The coming of the kingdom.
How did the people react?
The children were all shouting, Hosanna to the Son of David.
Jesus is their hero. Remember when he told us to be like the children to inherit the kingdom of God? This must be what he means. They see it first. It's only a matter of time now, boys.
Peter, think about it. Remember what he told us. The Son of Man will be handed over to the authorities to suffer and die. I know you don't want to think about that. None of us do.
But John is right. That is what he said.
Come now, Mary, be strong. That's not all he said. He promised that he would rise again.
But we don't really know that yet. This could be another one of his parables. Another story with a deeper meaning. One that we just haven't grasped yet.
Sorry to interrupt. So you brought the news then, Peter? I knew it wouldn't take you long. Personally, I don't see all the fuss is about.
Well, thank you for your input, Judas. But, if you don't mind me asking, what are you doing here? You're in charge of the common purse. You're supposed to be out distributing the money to the poor.
I'm finished.
It didn't take you long.
The money's all used up.
Oh, I bet it is.
Well, it doesn't last too long these days, does it, Magdalena? I mean, someone in your line of business, you of all people should know that a few denarii doesn't buy you much.
Watch it, Judas.
But it's all right to spend it on expensive ointments to pour on Jesus' head and feet. That's all right.
That's enough, Judas.
Pure nard, mind you.
I said that's enough!
You should have saved it for his burial. It probably won't be too far away now. Not after the day's performance in the temple.
What is going on?
I'm sorry, Mother Mary. We didn't mean to disturb you.
You would awaken the dead with that racket.
What has happened? Tell me, Judas.
Your son caused a disturbance in the temple today. He threw the money changers out of the temple and then overturned their tables. I just...
Yes, Judas. Tell me.
I fear for his safety. The authorities will not be pleased.
Surely you have been with him long enough, Judas, son of Iscariot, to know that my son does nothing in vain. This incident in the temple must also be to his purpose. His life will come to an end at its appointed time. No one takes it from him. It is not determined by men. I should know. I remember how my husband Joseph and I fled into Egypt when I was just a young woman of 16 to escape the slaughter of the innocents carried out by Herod the Great in order to eliminate my son when he had just been born in Bethlehem. Now, Herod is dead, but my son lives on. That was God's will, the will of his Father.
May the will of the Most High be done.
Come, Magdalena, be cheerful. Do not lose faith. Now come, all of you. Hasn't he given you tasks to do? Isn't there work to be done?
Yes, we were just planning the meal like he asked us to before the boys came back.
I know a man in town who can get us the supplies for the unleavened bread and a lamb for the sacrifice.
You won't need a lamb this time, James.
What? No lamb? But it's Passover. Moses told us to eat a lamb.
I know. Buy the lamb anyway if you wish.
Is this a bargain? I never could refuse a bargain. My husband, Clopas, always sends me to the marketplace for the shopping. He knew that I could get a bargain.
Oh, I can spot a bargain all right.
Judas, they didn't left in that purse get us a lamb. Ugh, now where's he gone?
He's a right sneaky one. He just gives me the creeps.
All of you, go about your business. When Jesus comes, he will expect to find you at your duties.
There you are, Joseph of Arimathea.
Keep your voice down, Nicodemus. I don't want to draw attention. I can't believe you asked to meet here, right outside the high priest's house.
You'll have heard the news then about the money changers in the temple and what Jesus did.
Oh, of course. What do you think this means?
I think this turn of events changes everything. Personally, I believe it was a cleansing experience for the temple, one we've needed for a long time.
But why choose now to do it, right before Passover? If he wanted to upset the high priest, he's went the right way about it.
That's why I called you here. We've got very little time. Caiaphas has called a meeting of the Sanhedrin, no doubt to discuss the incident in the temple and what's to be done about Jesus of Nazareth. As a member of the Sanhedrin, I had to come straight away.
In that case, Caiaphas will be here soon.
Yeah.
Look, what did you have to say to me? You know I like to keep a low profile.
You and I have an understanding, Joseph. You know I respect Jesus, and I've listened to his teachings, and I can find no fault with him. But now is a time of reckoning.